Hello YouTube! Please don't forget to support my As Dark As It Gets Kickstarter project. There aren't that many days left. Make it come true, please. Anyway, I got the day off and I'm just here. I'm just kind of getting over some odd allergic reaction or measles or whatever this stuff is. I am in the process of working with my brother Xfox Games. Check him out here. And another song about my kids, which there are 2 other songs, maybe more depending on how popular they are. In the meantime, I want to talk to you about something that has been bothering me for a while. I love the Dexter series, you know it? About a serial killer who goes and kills dangerous scum to both clean up the streets and feed his bloodlust. It was the most fascinating show I'd ever seen in my entire life. And it ended very recently. It ended, however, on a very controversial note, and personally I would say it didn't end very well. I won't spoil it for you, but if you haven't seen it, this leads me to BLB Dart's list of ways Dexter could have ended that are better than how it did. Number 1, death. I believe that Dexter dying in some way would have been better than how it ended. I had this theory the whole series that what would have happened is Dexter has to choose between killing the enemy of the final season and choosing to stay with his family, at which point he would follow his darkness, which he'd been doing the entire TV show, and he would go after the killer, at which point they would get into a big confrontation, eventually leading to Dexter's death. So I feel like after all of the killing and lying and betraying that he did throughout the series, it would be fitting that he dies and got his comeuppance, and then he kind of says a final, deep, touching, intelligently written monologue alone. And it kind of shows each of the characters living their lives one by one before eventually he just says goodbye and it goes to credits. That would have been great. It would feel like a resolution, you know, it could have shown what happened to Harrison, whatever. But him dying and being removed entirely to end the entire series would have felt much better than how they decided to end it officially. Number 2, happy ending. I feel like the extreme opposite of him dying would also fit. Dexter decides to choose his family instead. He goes to live with Hannah and Harrison in peace, and it feels nice and everybody's happy, and he cleared out the streets of Miami while he could, and now they're happy and alone. I mean, what happened in the final season, he was very emotionally compromised, Dexter, that is. It could have pushed him either way. He could have gone on some kind of crazy killing spree, or he could have run away with Hannah and his kid and been happy, you know, leave all of that behind. So him having a happy ending with Hannah and Harrison would have been good. Number 3, Dokes. I know in the books Dokes doesn't die like he does in the TV show in season 2 early on. I was always wondering if because of that fact they were secretly going to bring him back and somehow rat out Dexter when he didn't need it at all. You know, and then Dexter can quickly throw together some kind of plan to keep his close loved one safe, and then he goes to prison for the rest of his life, and morally that would be an ending that people are supposed to go for. Is him getting caught in the end. That would have felt better than how it ended. Number 4, goofy ending. If there were some kind of insane goofy ending where Dexter was having a dream the entire time and he wakes up and he's a normal guy, or if he would get abducted by aliens, or if Dexter kills everyone within a 500-mile radius before getting shot by some traffic cop and then he dies in the rain in the street bleeding, anything. The current ending for everyone, no spoilers, is that we lose a major character, and that's it. Nothing is resolved. It doesn't show you what happens to anybody else. It doesn't matter. All other characters' storylines just end. The entire storyline, including Dexter's storyline, just hits a big brick wall. It's a big brick wall, and then it just shows a shot of Dexter staring at the screen alone. The end. They brick wall the ending of the show. 8 seasons long, brick wall. Anything. Death, happy ending, goofy, Dokes, anything at all. Cartoon, turn it into a cartoon. I mean, I would have preferred it to end any other way other than brick wall. It's like the writer of the television show ran out of ideas and he said, I have no idea what to do, guys. I can't think of Dexter doing anything other than killing people, so screw it, I'm leaving, guys, see ya. Walked out of the building. The executives in suits had to throw together something really quickly. Oh God, and then everyone lived alone. The end. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like. As for world gaming news, I recently played a game called Rogue Legacy. This game is a 2D platformer where you play a character that when you die, you become the son or daughter of the previous character with randomized stats and randomized traits. Things like being afraid of chickens or flatulence or being huge or being physically small, just strange things. The environment is a giant castle that every single time you enter it is different. It's random every time. So the entire game revolves around you going into the castle, dying, turning into one of your own descendants, going back into the castle, which is now random again, and it's just an endless loop. But every time you go into the castle and die, you inherit all the previous person's equipment and money. So you use that money to do upgrades, and then you go back into the castle until you finish all of the area bosses and kill the final boss to beat the game. The castle is separated into a couple of different sections: forest, darkness, tower, and some kind of lower dungeon area. The game is pretty fun. It's worth at least 1 or 2 plays. It is very hard, however, and after you get to your 15th or 16th new randomized character, it tends to get a little stale. You know, you realize how repetitive it is. I mean, 2D platforming adventure game, it just... After you get the main mechanics and figure out how everything works, it tends to get a little slow. I would compare it to something like Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, where you're just kind of exploring in a 2D environment, and there are some RPG elements to it, so it's pretty fun. There are a number of classes, and you get to upgrade your weapons and armor often after you come out of the castle with money, so it always feels nice to kind of build up your character and swap out gear and everything. Also, from what I've seen, this company that developed the game is continuing to make updates for it, even now, and that's always a good thing, companies that just want to keep going. My verdict, yes, play this game. Positive notes: randomly generated characters and dungeons are fun, and if you want a bit of challenge, and you kind of have to slog through it to earn your victory, then go for it. It's worth it, it's a fun game. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate this video, comment on it, and subscribe to BLB Dart channel. Also, please back our Kickstarter project. It doesn't have too long. Otherwise, I'll be forced to move on to a different project, or maybe make a much cheaper, low-budget version of As Dark As It Gets.